Every time an artist blows up overnight, the internet does best. The term industry plant gets thrown around so much now that, I mean, it's hard to even know what it means anymore. There's levels to this. And let's start with the ones who internet does organic. Internet does best. The term industry plant gets thrown around so much now that, I mean, it's hard to know what it means. Still need you to believe. These are the artists who still need you to believe. And the story has to feel real. The story has to feel real. The great struggle, the discovery, indie breakthrough, indie darlings. But these are the artists who still need you to believe. They close to $1 million house. The story has to feel real. That viral struggle was coordinated by that great moment was coordinated by PRA. They keep the aesthetics of DIY. They keep the aesthetics of DIY. But behind the scenes, every time $1 million house, you knew the name. Artists like Billie Eilish was coordinated by artists like Billie Eilish, label executives. They keep the aesthetics of DIY. She's talented, but behind the scenes, she's talented, but the whole we reported Ocean Eyes, my brother there. Artists like Billie Eilish. What they don't mention is Phineas was already working in the music. Their mom was an actress. She's talented, but dad was in bands. They grew up in LA. It's already around it. That's not the whole. Billie was even. What they don't mention is Phineas was already working in the music. Their mom was an actress. Their dad was in bands. They grew up in LA, already around it. And by the time Ocean Eyes dropped, Phineas had already written and produced for other artists. He had a manager. He understood how the machine worked. Interscope didn't just stumble on him on SoundCloud. The setup was already there. See, there was a guy named Danny Rufus. And by the time Ocean Eyes dropped, and Danny was business partners with Brandon Goodrich. Brandon managed Fallout. So Billie already had manager. He understood the organic plan. They were smart plays because they did the indie credibility while having major label research. Set up with cool. That's not the case. See, there was this guy named Danny Rufus. These are the artists who don't exist one day. And next day, everyone's starting. Brand Push is so aggressive that Brand has managed Fallout. Something unique. You see the festival lineup before the fan base. You get late night TV slaps before they have catalog. Collaborating with A-listers in their second single. The machine gives them all the time they label. More than even earn. They'll have 50 million streams, but I've never heard anybody play their music in real life. They're trending on X, but nobody's actually talking about it. These are the artists every don't even know it one day. They're better next day. They hard enough to play fast. Push is so aggressive that the time it doesn't casual or it only does that rare. It does with artists. Now she's cliche. She dropped in August of 2022, and by October she was already being called the Princess of Rap. And then she was at the Met Gala. She went from unknown to a music video to World Star Hip Hop. Months dropped in August of 2000 in the music industry. By October she was already World Star charts rap, big money. And then she was at the Met Gala by May. But if you look at music video blew up on World Star Hip Hop. Her label 10K Projects myself by Elliot Green, big money. And Elliot is the son of Lucy Green. Her label 10K Projects. So it's not just the money, it's also the access. Every door being open. She went from unknown. Another one is Kid Laroi, a major artist in a few months. Months dropped in August of 2000. Now he's a controversial one because there's signs of him being in the plant, but his upbringing and his start in music industry was at the Met pretty highly debated. It's hard to really know. Also, her music first off, his dad was a music producer and sound engineer. And his mom was a talent being in the music industry. And after some digging, I found out that she started a management company called Mama Capone Management to help Kid Laroi and the people he was working with get on the map. And it goes a little bit deeper because the claim is that he grew up in poverty in the ghettos of Australia. But some of these early photos I found would say otherwise. And of course I wasn't there, so it still can't say for sure. But between the two, the claim is that he grew up in poverty in the ghettos of Australia. But some of these early photos I found people like throw this category. Of course, I wasn't there, so we still can't say for sure. But now, when you factor in her verse that he grew up in poverty in the ghettos of Australia, but some of these early photos I found would say otherwise. And of course, I wasn't there, so we still can't say for sure. But between the Juice WRLD features and the Justin Bieber collabs, it felt like he was being marketed as the next global superstar out of nowhere. And the most recent person people like to throw in this category is Doechii. Now, when you factor in her versatility and her stage presence, I think it's hard to say that she's not talented or doesn't deserve recognition. But everything was just so aggressive with her rise that people were calling her a plant before giving her a chance. So she signed to TDE, Kendrick's label. They're an independent label, but they got ties with the big three record companies, Sony, Universal, and Warner. She basically went from up-and-coming artist to winning a Grammy for Best Rap Album overnight. And her rise seems legit when you first look into it, because at one point, she just seemed like your average YouTuber that was on the come-up. But it's pretty clear that she's had some big label backing, big label backing. It's one thing to develop an artist's talents and skills, but it's another thing to spend major label money on. But what happens when an artist presents themselves as not having any money, and no family, and no being 16 in the middle of Miami, being 16 in the middle of Miami, Amelia Kelly, aka Kelly, aka
First things first, I'm the realest things first.
A white girl from Australia. But you would never know that from listening to her fake urban southern accent.
Better check my tax bracket. Better check my tax bracket. Gonna happen now. What you think was gonna happen? He's leaving. Y'all broke up like madmen. Broke up like madmen.
She became obsessed with Southern hip hop. And during that time, it was so different and unexpected. T.I. couldn't help but roll out the red carpet. He signed her, and they basically constructed an entire persona. They got her on big interviews. They got her on featuring with major artists like Charlie XCX. Took off from there. At first, everybody embraced her. She was invited to the cookout. But as time went on and racial tension started to flare back up in America, she got caught up in the culture vulture conversation. And once the culture rejected her, she couldn't save her. Some of it started with the feud between Iggy Azalea and Azalea Banks after Iggy won Best Rap Album.
You know what I mean? That Iggy Azalea shit is not better than any fucking black girl that's rapping today. You know? And when they give those awards out, when the Grammys are supposed to be like accolades for artistic excellence. You get what I mean? Excellence. You get what I mean? Excellent.
The theys purchase things that they see themselves in, right? And businesses capitalize.
And that's fine. So put her in the pop category. Put her with Katy Perry and they put her with Katy Perry and Miley Cyrus in the same fucking box together.
Don't put her in hip hop. But she's rapping over a beat.
But just because she's not singing does not mean it's rap music.
Ultimately, this all led up to Iggy Azalea quitting him the OF model and crypto entrepreneur. I think she knew she couldn't keep it up, especially when hip hop legends like Q coming out talking about it. It goes to show when industry plans is built around a gimmick, downfall can be just as quick as the rise. The puppet. Now the puppet is where it gets dark. But these are the artists who became what the industry wanted them to be, and not necessarily what they wanted to be. Sabrina Carpenter and Katy Perry deserve honorable mentions. But if you want to see a full inside look on their stories, I'll link my videos in the show notes. Both of them had mediocre to average success in music until the industry overlords got a hold of them and changed everything about it. Katy Perry was a gospel artist. Sabrina was a wholesome Disney child star. Another artist a lot of people talk about in this category, we talk about Craig. Now, if there was ever a person literally bred to be a pop star, it's probably Tate. Tate has actually been famous since she was around 8 years old. Not for music, but she was internationally known. Her mom owned a dance company and had Tate in training since she was around 6. Now, everything blew up for her after she posted a YouTube video for singing the original song called One Day, which has blown up to over 40 million views.
I've understood.
Now, usually you wouldn't label this kind of rise as Justin Bieber got the same kind of start. But her brand shift is where the water. She had pretty good success as the bedroom singer-songwriter. But even pop fans got caught off guard by her sexy pop. But who we really got to talk about is Stephanie Germanotta was playing piano in New York dive bars in 2005. She was doing jazz standards and just wearing normal clothes. And then she got signed to Def Jam at 19. But she got dropped after 3 months. L.A. Reid, he literally signed her and forgot about her. He just wasn't that interested. He thought she was too normal and too boring. Not that marketable. So after that, Gaga changed everything. She was ready to be what the industry She started studying what worked. What got attention. She analyzed Madonna's career. She dumbed down her skills. Simplified everything and focused on fame. By 2007, she was a completely different person. She was go-go dancing. She was hairspray on fire. She wasn't Stephanie. She met her producer Red One and got hooked up with Akon, and they just went straight up synth pop. But the interesting thing is, she never really hid that she was just playing a character. But usually there's a consequence that comes with not being herself.
I think real fans probably knew deep down that there was something going on.
You know, letting go of who I was
was before. And I don't mean becoming, I don't mean, Lady Gaga, that behind that's not what I mean by that. What I mean by that, my life is different now.
The whole Joanne era is where the cracks really started to show. She tried to strip down the sound. She tried to strip down the sound. Stephanie then formed Lady Gaga. It was her trying to find herself. It was her trying to find herself. The public didn't want Stephanie. The public didn't want Stephanie. Monster. One spectacle. Because specs would sell. But what if you could sell your music whether it was good or not? That's the case for level 4. That's the case for level 4. Nepo, these artists were industry before. They grew up in recording studios. They had dinner with label. They had dinner with. Got babysat by other pop stars. They'll talk about their journey. They talk about their journey, grind. But they had access to producers, writers, studios, nannies. They could fail as much as they want and still get another shot. The Nepo baby has mommy and daddy to give them every opportunity. Failure is not possible. Willow and Jaden Smith were destined before they were born. Willow dropped with my hair and daddy dropped with my hair at 10 years old. Failure. Willow and Jaden Smith got to quit music before she got to quit music because she got to come back. Then she got to come back. She could experiment with rock. She could experiment with whatever sound she wanted. Whatever sound she failing had no consequence. Then you got Blue Ivy. Then you got she did a good job voice acting. She did a good job voice acting on Mufasa. Really have a Grammy. Really have a Grammy.
Congratulations, she won. Congratulations, she won. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Mama's Beyonce. Don't matter what Beyonce. Now the next Nepo baby might surprise some of you guys. Drake, but yeah, Nepo Drake. The most talented one for sure. But if you don't believe me, I think it's time to believe me. I think it's time to believe me. Actually, so his dad Dennis Graham was a drummer. His dad Dennis Graham, Jerry drummer. His dad Dennis Graham. Jerry Lee Lewis was one of the pioneers of rock and roll. Then you got his uncle. Larry got his uncle, who was a singer himself, and he was a bass player for Slide. And he was a bass player for Slide. One of the most famous funk. One of the most famous funk. And then you got his other uncle. And then you got his other uncle, who was a songwriter and guitar player, songwriter and guitar player. Drake was playing on the grassy. Drake was playing on the grassy and making $50 grand a year. $50 grand a year. When that ended, he had money. And when that ended, he had money on the next fund his own. Started from the bottom. Started from the bottom is great. Started from the class, the bottom is middle class. The most successful, the most saddest of the five. The Super Planet is as close to a robot. They don't write their own music. They don't write their own image. They don't control their social media. They don't control their social media. Form the role they've been given. Most of them started from childhood. Development. Even been put through. There's people that control what they eat. There's people that control what they say. They'll pretend to date somebody. They'll pretend to date somebody just because their whole life image, their whole life. Sadly, they're the ones that usually have the most depression, mental health depression. Britney Spears is probably the most tragic example. When Britney was on the Mickey Mouse Club, basically you had Christina Aguilera, Ryan Gosling, Timberlake, they were all kids being. But when Britney signed with Jive Records, they created the whole package for her. Britney could actually sing, but they were giving her baby voice. And then they even controlled her virginity. Because she wasn't a virgin, but they told her she had to tell the public stay pure, so she could stay pure.
I just feel like I'm speculation. I really wish I would have never said it because I'm stuck in this little place where people are always asking me, but that's just something
they wanted to keep that young and at the same time they were marketing. By the time she was in her prime, she had been in the industry so long. She got married for 2 days. She got married for 2 days. Shaved her head. Beat up a car with an umbrella. Shaved her pressure of being one of the completely took over. Conservatorship made it even worse. Unfit to control her own life. Fit enough to release albums. K-pop generates to a whole level. Music like it's a whole nother level. They treat music like it's an 12-year-olds. They keep them in dorms. They keep them in dorms. They give them personality. They give them personality type. Make a profit off. Company disband the profit off. But the Asian music market, what they tend to do is they learn from the Americans. Because this goes all the way back. Because this goes all the way back to the roots were put together back groups were put together by both of the groups were put together by the music manager. Both of the groups actually ended up. But he held auditions. But he held auditions. But he held auditions. And he gave the members of the group. He even did a whole marketing. He even did a whole marketing campaign. He even did a whole marketing. And the worst of it all. And the worst of it all. And the worst of it all. Sell contracts and stealing money from the members. But at the end of the day. But at the end of the day. But at the end of the day. There's quite a few artists. There's quite a few artists I didn't get. There's quite a few artists. So let me know in the comments. So let me know in the comments. So let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, watch this one next for the full breakdown. Watch this one next for the full breakdown. So let me know in the comments who you think, or watch this one for the full breakdown. And if you enjoyed this video, watch this one next for the full